it's just, I'm just gonna make this video just to, again, for documentation purposes. 'Cause it just doesn't seem like I have anything else. Um, I mean, it's got to be accepted. I've my parents are like pure evil, is what I have confirmed for a long time. Um, it just had to be listened to, not confined in a box like space that's dark and can't get the light in, windows don't open. It's just I mean, then it just goes down the list, down, all the details, thousands and thousands of details that my parents have just been exploiting for my entire life rather than ever listening to me. And then I have all the text receipts. All the text receipts proving me right. How evil both my mom and my dad are, that they played victim to the very end, gaslit me to the very end, made sure I had no avenues. And everything I tried, I was breaking my body down even worse. And then I had to keep living with, every day I woke up, these things that could have easily been fixed. Every day, easily. There was never an argument. My dad never had a valid argument, ever. Just gaslighting and denial. I had to accept it completely. I'm still. What kind of bird is that? You know how long it's been since I've even been able to walk to the woods, to be in the forest? That's like my home. And I've not been able to even just walk to, like, I was supposed to move to someplace that actually made sense. And what did my dad do? He proved to me exactly what he always does. I knew I had to be the leaseholder, or else he was going to do this. This is the guy who stole everything from me. My body, my money, my jobs, my passion. My dad was trying to get me to quit guitar. When he learned of the side effects, when I told him even about the tremors, like literally all of it, it was just, stole everything from me. I had only a year of playing guitar before he stole it all from me. And then it was just all this pain and all the different types of pain that my dad denied that were known side effects. And then it just goes on and on from there. Like, you'd think that would be like one major thing, and then they would like actually take accountability and apologize and show some kind of like human soul. No. And then they got proven dead to rights on like so many things. Thousands and thousands of like horrible things. And then the only way people could ever understand is to add up all of the details. And nobody ever did. And nobody even knows the ones I couldn't speak on. All the ones that are buried. It was all my attempts to face everything head on and resolve things and solve things, because that's the type of person I am, to try to fix things. And you see, you could just look at my text and just see like the pure evil from him over years and years and years and years. And you actually, like, if you actually know the context, then I mean, it's like, it's this guy's like a absolute monster. And of course, how would it not be that way? Because this guy's learned to his whole life. He's just taking advantage of me. I tolerated it. And then I kept saying like, "Oh, this is gonna be like." I always would get mad and say like, "Say Elizabeth," and then like nothing would ever happen, and he would just keep getting away with everything. It's like I've had, I've, I have nothing to be ashamed of. I have nothing to hide. I've been, I could explain every detail to the most thorough and nuanced extent. I can do this for all types of things, not just my parents, but I had to learn that my brain was very different in the way that I could see and discern, and I think all that good judgment and ability to look at all the context for everyone's lives and everything is all comes from like what I had to survive. It's just it's not possible to deny. Like it's math. It's simple mathematics. And if you deny the math, like that's all my dad and my mom do is they omit all the numbers from the equation. Um, and then what do? They exploited all of them. Like they exploited every pain I had. I'm doing my tick stuff with. Uh, it's just pure evil. Cause like my whole life, I already knew I couldn't sit down properly decades ago. My dad made me put pressure against my spine. He made me put pressure against my groin area. Um, for 3 years, it's been almost impossible to even like urinate. Like the different types of pain and how it goes back contextually. Everything this guy did to me and just lied. Like this guy is, he never stopped lying. And my mom right there with him. Like I think after all I've learned in this world, like living this long, I think some families like actually just grow up to teach manipulations and teach being like a victim. And I might have been just like that, like had they not just broken me and like made me face reality. Like I had to face that they're like demons because they did it over and over again, and I kept picking myself back up, and I proved to myself endlessly that they were the root problem, and I needed outside support that no therapist can. That's what you also I learned like this. The majority of the world must be, or like a large portion of the world is doing that same kind of like victim thing that my mom and dad have always done. Is there one I swear I saw one person that distracted me. But it's on unlisted, so there should be no. And then my focal points can only focus like I'll have like no focus, and then it'll zoom in on this, and it gets tunnel vision focus for logical reasons, of course. I mean, if there was any kind of compassion and decency for me, I would have never had to speak to my dad again, ever look at a text, stare at a screen for hours, and give my all of my energy to this guy, just speaking facts, and him just denying everything. Like this guy, he. All I wanted was to be free to live, as I was designed. They wouldn't let me. They did. There's just endless. And then I can't even speak. Then I'll get done with this, and then all of it will flood more, such painful things. The most painful things I could never even get to speak on. And I didn't have enough support to even like feel like I could speak on things. I was just doing it I had to do it like this. It's just all simple math. You can't do that to people. You can't do this to people. And then I'm like such a testament to it and such a good example. I mean, I'm like such a great example for this. Like, there's literally the problem always was that there's literally too much abuse. There's too many abuses that, and then they just did every single detail that I told them in confidence to help me with. Like these are absolute monsters. Like that they are absolute monsters. And since there's no way for me to get any kind of justice or accountability from these people, I needed to have support from outside, from that actually understood the context and like how long this has been going on, and actually giving me a hand. Like I needed some support here. And like even just if I could even just talk to someone on video even, and then record that and just have a conversation like that, that would even help me immensely. And just post that video on YouTube. Just any things that would put me in a step in the direction where I feel like I'm actually heard. I have a whole entire lifetime of just being denied, gaslit at every turn, every step of the way. All the times I was so sick when I was fighting and battling addiction and stuff. I was so sick, and then my parents would just pile on, and I'd actually overcome and endure. While I'm in that house, I would get off the stuff, fix myself, and then I'd still be left in the same exact environment with these two people. I mean, it's amazing. And then I survived it all and did it like over and over again. And then every damn time it was a slap in the face when I finally like got out of there, and then I saw, oh, this is possible. If they're not there, my brain can actually like do this and this, and everything was just too late. And it's just like another step. Then the guy waits another 10 years after I spent every single day diligently, disciplined, working my ass off in just by myself, totally alone, doing all the right things. And this kind of stuff can't exist. Like when there's dead to rights on like everything. Like these people are like either completely insane that I had for parents, which doesn't make sense because they have logic to them, and they just selectively choose, is what I've proven. Um, every single thing, every pain I felt was just a logical, healthy reaction. And what did my parents do? They said it was in my head, that I was just a crazy person and I was stupid and all this garbage I had to listen to all the time. Um, my parents were just projecting. There's no way to explain it all, especially not like this. And I should have never had to feel like this every time where I'd like I said, because every time I'm just doing it to like strangers, trying to just document what I felt and just how I was existing every day and what would happen no matter how hard I tried to focus and stuff, because of these obvious unresolved things and how manipulative and disgusting like both my mom and my dad are. Like you have to be so sick to be that evil and then deny and then going. I mean, I can't. And then I kept putting myself back in that state. I almost just relived that again. Like, it's just it's very sad that this all could have been avoided. Like everything, I knew how to prevent everything. I learned how to fix even things that I thought were broken forever. The things that weren't permanently broken by my parents, things that weren't permanently stolen since I was a little kid, I fixed a lot of it. I even fixed my like majority of my tics and OCD and stuff was like, even still, it's like basically at a zero compared to what it was when I was a kid. Uh, there's so much I accomplished and overcame, and I forget where I was going. That's things. And then also, it never would have happened where I'd get lost in my thought as well if I didn't have to go to the nerve pain medication. Like every single thing, I was ahead of the game by years and years. And then I actually worked so hard that I got myself ahead every step of the way. My dad just threw me out, destroyed everything. Just drop of the hat, just destroyed it. And then blamed me, gaslit me again. Had like, and I'd just be stuck. And then he'd just like run away, like leave me. He'd be out just. The guy just, and my mom both, the most selfish, like disgusting people I've ever known. Nobody's ever been anywhere near as horrible as they have, and no one's ever been as close as they have. Well, no, I've been close with girlfriends and things and different relationships like that over time, but yeah, no one's been evil like that or betrayed me like that. Or I never wanted to have to do these things and have to like show myself being all upset, but like I had no other choice. This is like the only thing I can do is just document, and that's all I have. I mean, that's the only logical thing when you've been trying to speak on things for so long and like nothing, it doesn't get anywhere, and like nobody acknowledges the degree of abuse and like how bad it is when you add all the details up. And again, I'm not even scratching the surface. Every time I did, I tried. And I even like watched myself and had my awareness of like how I started like doing this like coping rubbing thing over the last year. Like I didn't even, of course, I'm always like hyper aware of everything, so like I can, whatever. It's just so blatantly obvious, like this is gonna be likely going to be it, because I've been living with like horrendous things. And even the urologist I went to, like I needed a good urologist as well if I wanted any hope of like maybe, you know, these most of these doctors, they're so bad. Like they're so bad. Having gone through the medical system, I was smarter than most of them, and I knew just right from wrong easily, just from my gut and just what was healthy and what wasn't. If I mean the whole younger generation is screwed if they just there's I didn't know there were so many people in the world that are similar to my parents, maybe, or how similar, I don't know, but what I do know is the world is lacking in empathy greatly. And you know, I would always be there if someone needed me to like even just make a video and just to talk and try to get out what I needed to get out. Like I would do that for them, and I would be there for them. Like I couldn't always be there, but I would always try to be, and like I would give my time and try to do that because I would think it was worth it and I would care. But I just see like nobody would do that. Nobody did that for me, and it's like to think like that guy still made me drive, like he still had the control and the power, like where I said it how many times that the car is still sitting there, and like this guy just had it. His whole objective was just to like torture, like torment me. Every single thing I explained, he could have easily helped with. What do you see if you look at his text messages? He's like, "I'm trying to help. You're not accepting my help. You're not like, no, you're gaslighting like you always. That's what my dad always does. It took me a long time to even get to the point where I could just be like, just accept and call it out and just expect it. And I always had gone back in the past of just tolerating, giving him a pass, and then thinking like he's just too dumb to. He must care. I thought he cared about me. Then it's like I went through all these processes. And it's like, no, actually, I was like I was like in denial of that to some extent, because I was like surviving, and then I kept having to rely on him, and then it was like too much in my head to like, I don't know, man. It's just a horribly impossible situation. I survived, and I never got the credit or any kind of understanding I deserved, and I didn't get the support I needed, and it's just like, it is what it is. It's like, you can't have people dead to rights for decades, and all the like, it's all in the details. The context matters. I've been saying that my whole life. Like, I've had to live this, where the nuance, the context. There's just some people that I don't know, man. I'm proud that I didn't. I love who I am, and I'm proud of who I am, and I didn't become like them. That's very rare, to like break that cycle. My siblings didn't do that. Like, they went along, and they're still. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. Like, something's got to be really wrong if you couldn't show me any support in all those years. Like, they're most likely just piling on me and saying negative things about me, just like my parents do. Like, what they do is, my dad will say something to some person and then another thing, and he says it and he words it in ways where he's the victim and he's doing things to help. He's not actually doing it. That's where it's all these twisted games. I'm sure some people know someone in their life, like maybe that's ever been something like that, that maybe they. It's so gross, man, what they got away with. I was right all along. How do you blame the innocent kid for just logical, healthy reactions your body was producing? Like, and then even just do all this that I just said, and it's like I feel like I said nothing. I came and scratched the surface, and what does it matter? And I have just had it taught to me over and over again that, like, no matter what I do, and I try to get some kind of like the control that's been stolen back, just, I mean, just get. They should not have had any control left. The least that they could have done is just just make me the leaseholder. At least she would have done it had my dad talked to her and got. Instead, he was like, he must speak to me, and you have to help, whoever, whatever he said to her, like this lady. And I have the text from Again, I've already said all this. I have everything in text to back myself up endlessly. Not just one or two, but hundreds of thousands. This goes on forever. My entire life, my dad was lying to me. Selectively. Not all lies, of course. That's what makes it, again, that's what made it all more twisted, because I actually believed that he, like, cared. He cares. Then I understand it so well now. Like, there really are, like, monsters. Like, they don't have real empathy. They only have, like, they care to control the situation, to be a victim, to get stuff out of that. Like, that's what my parents care about. And um, if I don't get to survive in the end and they're to blame, they will do exactly, like, it's so predictable. All their behavior is so predictable. They're just rotten. They're rotten souls. It's, at least from my perspective as a human who actually cares about people. I care when people actually hurt. I don't want people to suffer, especially when they didn't do anything wrong. The people who don't deserve. I could have had peace so many times. I could have had peace for decades. Even after everything they did that I shouldn't have survived with. I should not have survived. And somehow I even kept rebuilding. I kept rebuilding the guy every time, like, destroyed. So, I mean, you couldn't imagine, no one could ever imagine, no one's ever going to live my life in all the context and decades of abuse in every form possible, but the worst being psychological, of course. But, no, so the physical pains I felt were agony, and still some of them, obviously, yeah. It's a whole mix, man. There's no words to describe all that stuff. There's no words. And the pain from even just one of the things, like the spine. Like, you can't, there are so many specific and well-known and just provable things. Like, there's just too much. So it's been that way for way too long. Like, all the stuff, like, has been out for decades. Like, the garbage that they spewed that turned out to be garbage and lies with, like, the medical. Like, most people, like, understand these things. My parents, no, they're the biggest pharmaceutical fans. Everything is, no, pills will solve everything. I didn't have a chance with parents like this. They just, everything was, they just wanted to, like, nothing made sense. That's all. I mean, if nothing else, somehow they weren't evil and they just have some kind of upside down logic. It doesn't make sense though, because they would selectively be nice and be not, and sometimes they would, and they showed that they can be logical. Like, so it doesn't make sense that, I don't know. And here I am putting myself through this again. Like, it's not fair to me. It's not fair to anyone that want to listen, like, watch my channel and just have a good time. And so all I want to do is, like, show my actual. In the end, my teeth have been shifting big time in the last couple of days. It's, like, really painful. I understand all of it. My dad would still be saying, "You go to the dentist, you go to the doctor." It's like, no, that's not the root cause. Again, everything my dad does is try to, like, cover things, or, like, make me go in circles, make me go in circles and, like, only address, like, details that are not the root causes and like make me going, yeah, it's just nuts. Like, um, if I could actually just list off all the damn horrible things, I can't do it because the emotion that comes with it always makes it impossible. The amount of tangents, the emotions, psychologically, I can't even just list because it all comes with so much, and then it triggers so many other things. I legit, like, it all comes through my face and my body too. Like, I can see like the difference in how I look, and things look more ugly, and like everything is just, I'm just like a fully authentic person, and then I can just speak on everything because I've been doing this, and there's nothing that I did wrong. I did wrong when I was younger, and I mean, sometimes you always do some kinds of things wrong because you can't always be exactly perfect. But like, I mean, I can't even think of like, it's I know I just know I've been doing the right things every day, and I never fail to like stop trying. And because I knew my value, and they knew my value, and then they just thought like, oh, well, he's never gonna actually die, so we can just do whatever we want to him, and like, the details matter. They'll always matter, and every single piece matters in the equation. But they omit everything, and then they blame me. What do you think that does to a person? Especially when they're still having to interact with them, and like they're just in another universe basically, while you're being tormented. You don't even have room to like walk around anymore. It's been years since like I could walk normally. Never would have resorted to nerve pain med. It just goes on and on. I can't even scratch the surface. And the amount of emotion. Never should have had to be in these positions. Like, there should have been avenues for like some. You have parents that do this, and you didn't ever get compensated or anything, and he's just like giving you like. The guy made me build up a debt, and then like there's so many things. Like he didn't. This guy was the most evil POS for so much. Now he wants to come. It never ends. It's just upside down. He's just evil. That's what evil is, man. Both my mom and my dad, they'll never change. They'll never care more for anyone else than themselves. Like, it's just so obvious. But then, like, you would see my parents, and they were so good at their lying that they convinced people to, like, that I had problems in my head. And then I was, like, a bad guy. And so, it's just really, again, there's no words for it. And I'm just going to end it here because this is tormenting me. I never should have had to ever repeat myself even one time. It's like I always could find ways. It's like, oh man, well, other people have to deal with this. I always could find ways to try to keep going. And I shouldn't have. And I was tolerating like way beyond what a human is supposed to. doesn't, it's no resolution, no resolve, when I should have full resolve. It's, I know them to be absolute monsters who will never stop lying, and they'll always play the victim when they're the perpetrator. It's nuts what I've had to endure. Like, it's just nuts. Like, every turn. It's hard for me to stop doing. I mean, then it's like no one can understand all of it, because even if I was to go to like focus on, yeah, it has to be done. I can't. It just looks like I'm not gonna get a shot here, and to wait so long to move, and then my dad does the same predictable kind of crap where he exploits my pain, like sets me up somewhere that doesn't even let me be the, like, what the F, man. Had to go back through him while he's talking about money when I can't imagine the pain to disable me and confine me to a bed so young, and to then flip that, even pretend I wanted to stay there. I had to hide out in that house, in that little tiny room, every day. Had to learn to bypass like my own needs and wants, and healthy stuff for like painkillers, and just use that for years. Finally got myself off that, was on Suboxone, got myself off that. My own choice. I could have stayed on that for life. But that's the kind of person I am. It meant a lot to me to get off the stuff completely. Did I ever get any credit? No. And then what did my parents do? Like, it goes on and on. Like, these people are, there's no other word for. Then I was literally saying that, and he was gaslighting me about that. Like, and he's like, "You're calling me how hard? I'm leaving because you called me a name." It's like, you deserve, you. What do you mean? You did these things. You deserve to be called that, because that's what the actions mean. It's just logic. Like, what are we debating here? This is crazy. The things they got away with, and I've had to pay for. Just selectively omitting all the context that matters.